Taylor Swift didn't just face criticism, she faced a version of herself that the world created. And that's different because when people misunderstand you, you can correct it. But when the world builds a narrative around you, you have to decide, do you fight it or do you rewrite it? Taylor Swift chose to rewrite it. In the beginning, control early, not late. And that is where Taylor Swift didn't enter the industry casually. She entered it aware of image, of perception, of storytelling. While others focused on talent, she focused on positioning. That's important because talent gets attention, positioning keeps it. If you've ever felt like people misunderstand your intentions or who you are, stay here. This is the Golden Lining, and I'm Kush Nathan, and I tell stories about people who take control of how they're seen. Taylor Swift didn't leave that to chance. Now, the first wave is success with expectations. Taylor rose quickly, recognition, fans, momentum. But early success comes with labels: safe, predictable, defined. And once people define you, they expect you to stay there. That's the trap. Now, why she didn't stay in one lane is that Taylor didn't repeat herself. She shifted from country to pop, from style to style, from sound to sound. That's risky because when people expect consistency, change feels like loss to them. But to her, it was growth. Now, this is where the narrative turned. At a certain point, public perception shifted. Criticism increased, scrutiny intensified, stories formed around her. Not all accurate, but all influential. That's when the narrative stopped being hers and became public. Now, why most people lose control here is that this is where people react, defend themselves, explain, push back emotionally. Taylor didn't react immediately. She observed. That's strategic because reacting reinforces the narrative. Rewriting it requires patience. Now, the shift from the response to strategy. Instead of arguing, she created music, projects, direction. She didn't try to correct narrative directly. She built a new one that's different because corrections fights perception. Creation replaces it. Here's the power of ownership. At one point, Taylor faced something bigger than criticism: control over her own work. Ownership. That's where the story levels up because now it's not about image, it's about control over what you create. And when that's challenged, you have to decide: accept it or rebuild it. The decision rebuild, not accept. Taylor didn't accept it. She rebuilt, re recorded, repositioned, reclaimed. That's effort at a level most people wouldn't attempt because it requires time, discipline, belief, and the willingness to redo what's already been done. Why this works is that because it aligned, her actions matched her message. Consistency creates credibility, and credibility rebuilds trust. The difference between fame and control is that Taylor Swift didn't just maintain fame, she controlled it. Fame is external, control is internal. And when you control your narrative, you're not dependent on perception, you shape it. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear, and that is you don't control what people say, but you control what you build next. Taylor Swift teaches us this: that if you don't like the narrative around you, don't argue with it, outcreate it. Now, the internal strength is the emotional intelligence. Taylor didn't just react logically, she responded emotionally with control, understanding, timing, audience, message. That's emotional intelligence. And it's a competitive advantage because why she creates evolution from that is she kept going. She never stays stagnant, and the evolution keeps relevance. If you feel misunderstood or boxed into a version of yourself, this story isn't telling you to fight harder, it's telling you to build something new. Because new creation resets perception. Here's the real legacy: Taylor Swift didn't just create music, she created control over her identity. That's harder and more powerful. Perception can be shaped by others, but control must be built by you. Taylor chose control, and control gave her longevity. Now, if this story stayed with you, don't stop here. Click on the next video on your screen. It's another Golden Lining story about control, pressure, and building your own path. I'm Kush Nathan, and this is the Golden Lining, and this is where perception becomes power.